Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the GW Panther, the Tier 7 German SPG, located on the westbourne of Studzianki under the command of angelina75. Okay, game started. Now the contest is still on with Talon. Angelina's heading away to her firing position. She's not knocking down the house or the camp. Now that's something I always do in these battles on Studzianki, because I know that that house can be used as a hiding place for somebody who's in the cap, and it makes it very difficult for the team to get a reset if they can't see the enemy tank that's capping. Remember, one of our members actually managed to sneak round the map in a KV2 and hid behind the bush, behind the house, and cap out before the team could get a shot on him, and as a result he won the battle. And he was never seen by the enemy team ever during the entire battle, so he ended up with a Raider Invader. Okay, Angelina's going after the Scorpion, who's just sitting on that spot. Rounds out. Direct hit! And he's wiped out! One round. Perfect shot there. Blind shot, blind kill for that matter, although she did know that he was there. And she guessed that he was still in that position. And we just saw the enemy Arty fire from that spot as well. So he's going to get around us on top of that. She's just working out where to put the shell. She's fully dialed in. And that one landed where the Arty was last seen. Although there was an explosion, which means she didn't hit him. But she's changing her position just in case the enemy tries to counter battery. Now I reckon she'll probably put another round in there. She's at this moment looking for a shot on the Progetto 46, who just got hit by our other Arty, the GW Tiger. He's stunned and he's pulling back just a little. Nah, he's just repositioning himself. He fires a round in and gets 8 splash. Now she might want to change position now, because if that enemy Arty was impacted, he would be looking in this general direction to try and get a shot at whichever Arty fired. Instead, Angelina's looking to get a shot on a T-55A who's gone down into the ditch. There's the T-55A, just keeps popping up every now and then, but he knows that some tanks are actually watching that ditch and waiting for somebody to pop up so they can put a round into them. And we know that there's an enemy Skoda T-27 behind the church, although we can't see him at the moment. Okay, there's someone we can see. It's Carnarvon Action 10. He just took a hit, and that's made him pull back. I think he took a hit from one of our tanks, like an E75. Oh, and Angelina lands one on his engine deck, and she got 621. Now, what's significant about that? Well, the GW Panther with the main gun does 600 alpha, so she probably did do a penetrating shot on that round. She fires another one. This time round, she gets an explosion. So she didn't hit him this time round, but she definitely hit the engine deck the last time round. 630 is quite a decent penetrating shot. Okay, let it dial in. That Progetto is a good target. Rounds out. Okay, he's moved from that spot, but if he was still there in the vicinity, he would have been badly hit. Now that T-55A is coming up to take a quick shot, and then popping back down again. He didn't get a kill there. In fact, actually, it was our TNH 105 1000 that was killed by the enemy SU-122. And that's a direct hit. Not a penetrating shot, but 281, a decent hit. Coming up to a third of the way through this battle. You can see our guys are hiding behind the buildings, using them for cover. There's a couple of wrecks in the gaps as well. They're also covering our teammates. And you can see that T-55A makes a point of keep popping up at the far end so he can get gun depression, because the T-55A does not have much in the way of gun depression. I believe it's only 5 degrees, which means he has to create artificial gun depression by actually popping up and then turning his gun sideways. Then the gun barrel pokes down over the side of the vehicle. And she's changing position again to avoid counter battery. Their ELC Evan 90 is going to be forced to move very shortly, and he's gone. Unfortunately, we lost our T-34 too there, taken out by the enemy T-55, and she puts a round into him for 30 hit points. And he's now been stunned. She's picking up stun assist. There's their Skoda. He moved to the centre trench as well. Our Charfu Q4 looks like he's fired all of his rounds, and he's pulling back, but he's not getting any support from our teammates. So he's having to try and escape the trench. And that's a shot from the enemy Arty, and the Charfu Q4 is gone. And that's bad news, because that means all of the defenders of the trench are now killed, which means the enemy's got a chance to move west, and they probably will. Angelina fires around into the same position where she last saw the T-55A, but she's now repositioning altogether because she knows that the enemy the enemy tanks are more likely coming this direction, and the best thing she can do at this moment is get the hell out of here before they arrive. She's making her way very carefully past the GW Tiger, who's possibly in the last moments of an aim before he shoots. And she's managed to get past him. In fact, she's skirting the area to leave as little trace of where she is. At least we've got some other tanks to defend that cap area. The SU-130PM, the GW Panther, and the UDAs. The GW Panther's more going to act like a spotter than anything else. In fact, he'd be much better off being further south to allow the SU-130PM to get a decent shot on the enemy. A charioteer suddenly appeared, and he suddenly got killed by the SU-130PM. Okay, this is a good spot for the moment, but the only problem is that the Progetto, who was last seen up near the top, might actually be watching for any tracer coming out of this little area. And the Skoda just killed our UDAs. Now that's bad news. The scores are still even at the moment. So the enemy's lost a fair number of tanks, and now we've got the SU-122-44. Stalin's hammer. Let's see if we can get around in. That's 17 hit points of splash. Now that might make him go into hiding for a little while. He won't be too happy about being hit by an Arty round. Tends to make players play more defensively when they do get hit, just in case they're exposed. Okay, the GW Panther's still spotting basically. We lost the SU-130PM, and that's the bad news, because he was the only one who was actually stopping the enemy from coming any further. We're looking for any trace or any sign that the enemy's moving. Well, that was an enemy Carnarvon being taken out. He'd gone up onto the centre, and the Challenger saw him and got the kill. The news is that, the Challenger's been spotted by the enemy Arty, and they're firing in that direction. The problem is that Progetto, I really do feel that... and there's the SU-122-44. Good hit, a direct hit on the front. Didn't pen him, but it certainly knocked a nice chunk of hit points off him. 190, and here comes the ST1. And unfortunately, he's just killed the GW Panther, which now means our only defender near the cap area is that T20, and this is where that... Oh, and he's just been spotted. Angelina's just been spotted by the Progetto, I think. She needs to get behind that rock quick, because the enemy Arty will be firing in this direction. So she needs to be behind the rock. Yeah, that's the problem, as I said, but that Progetto might actually see her if she was firing from this corner. And obviously then she would be vulnerable. Now, we've lost sight of the SU-122-44, but the T-20 is still defending the cap. As I was about to say, now you can see why it's important to get rid of that house near the cap area, because that house can actually protect the enemy while they're capping. Makes it difficult for you to see where they are. So I make it a point on this map, whenever I'm in Arty, I knock that house down, knock the camp down, make sure that there's nowhere for them to hide in the cap area. Okay, trying to get a shot on the Emil. Lined up shot, rounds out. This could be good. It was! Direct hit on the rear of the Emil as he pulled away. And Angelina's changing position just slightly to avoid the counter battery, just in case the Emil had friends. Now the enemy's lost their Progetto as well now, which means that we don't have to worry about that guy further up the north in the wood at A5 and A6, because he's out the game. And it's still even. There's still an even chance that both sides will win, although our heavy tanks are actually in the centre of the map, well, centre, near the factory, and they're moving forwards. Actually, some was saying that it's not actually a factory, it is a power plant, and the railway lines bringing the coal which feeds the power plant. Oh, and that was bad news. We just lost the Wizzy 131, which means we're one tank down on the enemy. Now, it might be a good idea, I mean, I would only suggest this, that Angelina move to the wood at A5 and A6, possibly A5, and just go up into the wood and sit there right at the back, because I doubt that any enemy vehicle will be up there, and the T-20 will still cover the cap, and Angelina can fire from the wood at the cap just in case the enemy comes there. Somebody was indicating now grid square B0, so I'm wondering if somebody is over there and the E75 is moving towards that position. The enemy have got two Arty, an S51, M53, M55, an Emil, an IKV-90B and an SU-122-44. We think the SU-122-44 is to the south. We think that the Emil is over near the enemy cap area. And the E75's checked that area out now and there's nobody there. There is a possibility that one of the enemy Arty was up in the north. We don't know which one. That was the one that was near the railway line earlier in the game. There's the IKVs near our cap area. And we're lining up a shot on him. Come on, Angelina, get this. Yes! 252 of splash. That's good. The T-20 looks like he was firing in that direction. Okay, the IKV's still around. And they found the Emil. He did go back to their cap area. And now, can she get around onto him? He's firing his rounds off. He's only got 3 of them. Rounds out. Oh, right next door to him for 208. And the E75 gets the kill. But that's the last minute. It's a bit too late to rush the enemy cap area. But, well, we've only got one tank over there at the moment. T-20's heading that direction. Angelina wouldn't reach it by the time that the game ended. We haven't got enough time to cap out with just one. He's capping. He's trying to draw them in. They probably think that the 45 TP is going to help him. But it's just not enough time left. And I don't think they're going to try and cap, because it would obviously make it very obvious where they are. The T-20's found the SU-122-44. Angelina's not looking in that direction. She is now. She's picked it up. Okay, she's dialing in as quickly as she can. The T20 gets the IKV-90B. There's only 3 enemies left. We know where one of them is. He's close by to where Angelina's aiming. And time's up. So it's a draw. Well, here's the end of battle results, and that was the first class tanker for Angelina75 and the GW Panther. A very good start to this week's contest. She managed to get a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. She managed to get 12. She got a Gauze medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points of her own vehicle. And she got a Confederate as well, which means she's definitely in the lead. So long as Talon doesn't get an ace tanker. If he does get an ace tanker, he will win straight away. But if Angelina stays at this level at the moment with a first class and a Gauze and a Confederate, she's in the lead for sure. And we'll just have to wait and see if she gets the win for next week. Her win rate on this one was 3,654, which is Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, we can see the highest damage in the game was done by the E75. He got a high caliber for 3,963 hit points. The second highest damage in the game was Angelina with 2,930. That's why she got the Gauze medal. She did very well in that. Lots of damage on the enemy, including a blind shot on that Emil, if you remember, as well as the one near the cap. So she actually hit him twice. You can see 2 stuns. One of them was a blind impact. We know that one of them did, I think it was about 280. So she got about 200 hit points from that blind shot or thereabouts. But she did get a large amount of damage on the enemy tank. The Arty that she struck, by the way, with a blind shot, yep, she hit the M53, M55 for 182 hit points. So she was very close to him when she got that round in. But it wasn't a direct hit, but it was right next door to him. And that probably persuaded him to pull away and find a new firing position, probably somewhere in the south. Because obviously he didn't like getting hit. Anyway, let's have a look at the rest of the team score. We can see the third highest damage in the game was actually the enemy, Emil, with 2,646 hit points. When it came to kills, it was the E75 did the best with 3 kills. 2 kills went to the SU-130PM, the Challenger, the T-34-2, and on the enemy team, it was their Emil 2, their M53, M55, the ST-1, and the T-55A. Angelina only got the 1 kill out of that one, but when it came to base XP, she actually came top. She was the highest out of all of them. 638 base experience, probably down to the fact that she managed to get so much stun assist. 602 went to the E75, and the third highest was the Emil 2 on the enemy team, 505. She fired 17 shots, got 5 direct hits on the enemy, 2 penetrations. I think we definitely saw one of those pens, didn't we, on the enemy? It was not that guy. Where is it? We know she got a pen on one of them. Just trying to find which one it was. Oh, there it is, the Scorpion. Yes. Oh, she penetrated him with the first shot. Yes, a blind shot. Killed him outright for 533. She penetrated the Carnarvon as well on the engine bay. You remember that one? 689 from one shot. That's a pretty good shot, that one. So that's where she got the penetrating shots. 12 splashes on the enemy as well. 2,930 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damaged 9 of the enemy, killed 1, so there's her Confederate. 398 hit points of damage assistance and 724 hit points of stun assist off 13 stuns. On a premium count, she earned 44,522 credits, 5,355 for courageous resistance. That's because it's a drawn game. And 49,877 credits altogether. After resupply of ammunition, took away 30,837 credits, 957 XP, 582 for courageous resistance, took away 1,539 experience points altogether. So it's a very good first start. This is basically the first replay that's been submitted this week, although you will be seeing some replays coming shortly from Angelina from previous weeks. Obviously those weeks have now been decided, but this is the first one for this week, and I expect that Talon will probably respond sometime later on. So if you enjoyed this replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And there'll be more replays coming in very shortly, because I've got a lot of replays to do. In fact, some people have actually sent in sort of like 4 or 5 replays in one fell swoop. And I'll try and do my best to get as many of them done as I can. But over the past couple of weeks, we've had so many replays submitted that there's now a very big delay on getting any of these videos done. So do be aware that there might be a delay. Thanks for watching.